And I thank all of you advocates who have fought, have suffered, come back and forth to Albany, sometimes in a little bit of despair. You got the bill passed 3 times in one house, couldn't get it put on the floor even for a discussion in the other house. So now the other house has a new leader, and he put it on the floor for discussion for the first time. It passed the New York State Senate. So give yourselves a round of applause. Well, this year, of course, we celebrate that 400 years ago, Henry Hudson and Samuel D. Champlain discovered the rivers that now bear their name. And when they found those rivers, they were pure, they were untouched, and in many ways they were unspoiled. But by 1970, nearly 400 years later, just 40 years ago, the pollution of those waterways was at its peak. And finally, New Yorkers took a stand. The generation preceding us took a stand, realizing that we have to protect our waterways. And that's when the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation became an agency in the state of New York. And it's also when all around the country we began celebrating Earth Day, as people across the country fought to preserve our waterways, preserve our land, and the air that we breathe. The preservation of the environment is not a special interest. It is actually a necessity in terms of a sustainable economy. We actually raise costs and kill off jobs when we don't protect our environment. Now, realizing that other societies have actually held as their highest principle, both culturally and spiritually, the protection of the land and the air and the water around them, we should not have to protect the water that we drink. We shouldn't have to fight to preserve the air that we breathe. We shouldn't have to struggle so hard to preserve the integrity of our land. But we do have to. And that's why today, in honor of that, we are pleased to announce that after 9 years, we have passed the Bigger, Better Bottle bill. I was an advocate for this bill when I was a state senator. I fought to try to get its passage as lieutenant governor, and I will now sign this into as a law as governor of the state of New York. This will somehow protect somewhere between 2.5 and 2.8 billion containers of water, in addition to the protections that the original bottle bill created some 25 years ago. And we will ask the distributors of these products to pay the unclaimed deposits, which will bring $115 million into our economy, which will help us to enhance, as we have in the 2009-2010, our Environmental Protection Fund. And we will continue, as a result of the passage of that budget, to help the environment. We're going to upgrade the docks going back to the Hudson River and to Lake Champlain to make sure that those treasures become more accessible to people, particularly in underserved areas. We put $8 million into the budget to build the footbridge between Poughkeepsie and Highland to accommodate the movement of pedestrian traffic and lower the amount of vehicular traffic. And so these are what we were able to accomplish in that budget period. But we go forward. Today I'm announcing as a state policy that we're going to reduce the amount of pesticides that we use in our state parks. Our state parks we have a very wide network of historic sites and state parks, and I want to thank Carol Ash for her stewardship of those resources that we all get to use right here in New York. We can have wonderful lawns and land areas and play areas without using pesticides. They have been demonstrated to cause us to lose jobs, to threaten the health of the people who use the parks, and actually threaten the health of people who don't. This is an issue that, of course, was paramount on Long Island, but now a concern all around the state. And through the reduction of pesticide use, we hope we will further clean up the environment. This is really, I hope, a change in culture in our society. We are not in any way trying to impede the development of our society and the tremendous job creation entities that exist. But at the same time, we have to realize that the threat to our environment becomes a threat to our safety, which becomes a threat to our humanity and lifestyle itself. And so I want to thank all of you advocates again for all you did to help pass the Bigger, Better bill, and tell you that as difficult as it may have been, the effects of it will be rewarding for decades to come. Thank you very much.
Next, we'd like to welcome to the podium Senate Majority Leader Malcolm Smith.
Thank you very much, Bob, to Laura and Paul, to Commissioner Eng, and obviously I am Eng. And obviously I am very excited about the fact that the governor and my colleague in the Assembly, Speaker Silver, are one being honored and appreciated today for a fight that they've had for this particular legislation for a long time. But there is another person aside from Antoine Thompson, who is the chair, who has done a wonderful job with this entire. I do want to this young lady who has been in the minority for a long time. I call her Miss Green. She has been fighting for what was right for the state of New York, and on this day, which I like to say, Happy Earth Day to everybody. Marcy Palmer. Marcy Palmer. Obviously, today we are celebrating and fighting for what many of you believe in with regard to this environment and the fact that New York State once again has taken a leadership role on doing what is right. It is clear that we are not afraid to make tough decisions during tough times. Obviously, you've heard Laura, you heard Paul talk about it. This is a very difficult budget. There's no question about it. But difficult times require some difficult choices, and it also requires leadership that's prepared to stand up and make those decisions and stand behind those decisions. Today, that is what we are celebrating. Not only we're celebrating Earth Day, but we're celebrating leadership that is not afraid to make tough decisions and do what is right by the people in the state of New York. And so I want to thank the NYPIRG, I want to thank the Nature Conservancy, I want to thank all of the advocacy groups who have been fighting for years for this. Laura, I know how much this means to you and to your membership, but know that it's very easy to do the right thing. And what we've done today and passing the Bigger, Better bottle bill was the right, that's a tongue twister. Was the right thing. And you know, in addition, as the governor said, we clearly, with the Environmental Protection Fund in this budget, there'll be $17 million in this cycle. There's $1 million in this budget for a Green Initiative Institute at the University of Buffalo to create green jobs. I know Senator Antoine is very happy about that. And we are also funding some waterfront revitalization projects, municipal parks, and farmlands. And in the Senate, while we may not control everything, one of the things we are also looking at right now is trying to get the Senate to go green. And we're going to start out with some of the vehicles that we have that we're going to begin to turn in and begin to get some hybrids vehicles that will save us, obviously, emissions and what have you, as long as the governor is okay with that. So we are going to make our deposit in the Senate on Happy Earth Day by going green in the Senate ourselves. But this is a day that we are obviously proud of what is happening. We are committed to again working with the governor, the speaker, also our president, Barack Obama, who, as you clearly know, has framed out some great initiatives to reduce the emission, and we are also committed to dealing with some new initiatives that I'm sure will be unveiled as we move on this year. So I am very proud to be here today. As you can see, I've come out of my dark navy blue and put on my green, which is part of the Earth Day, and I am just elated that this day has come, and I'm so happy for the advocates who have been fighting for this for so long and deserve round of applause for this moment program. Thank you and God bless.
It's also my great pleasure to ask Assembly Speaker